Busia me mama kwa ba tips and gist YouTube. Say ene da edikan ene your first time na safe na waba me channel no so a. Be sure e na wa subscribe na wa like video no so e de ama me. Utimi nso share ma wona fufuo nyina na obia nso etimi abehwe bi. Ene enkomo me ne obedi no emu odu ensem a ebobo ba e wo UK. Abere bia ye beda sorry na omoyi ba akwa betum. Eti ene me no ba betwehwe ho nkomo na ye hunu ekwan a ye befa so a ye nso ye betumi a survive. Abusuya eneme no betwetwe nkomo afa Asylum anase refugee seekers. Eye Rwanda bill a eno nso akopim e parliament ene 16th January. Na mewia me no aka care dependent no. Samo beka last year December mu ho ebobo baaya na afi akoda. Na eno so eho update etesen ene me de beba bedomo. Busuya before say you can say me call into details no. Mama yenhwe Asylum ne first. But my mention video be a course of parliament abra omo pass the Rwanda bill no omo pass here. And that no amendment and komo pese a course of parliament. Because a group of people be say sa bill na omo e pass within a you can say beginning of this year no. Enya dia ebe to me abua into the 16th omo sa the parliament sanka omo nya amendment nanka omo nya ensakraye bi ewom. But and also ankoyi but mama yenhwe sa video no emra ansa na me de munchire mu nyina aba.
Central lobby now, if we can. I think Beth Ruby is there.
Yeah. Hi, Sophie. Yes, I have just managed to grab Marc Francois, the chair of the ERG, one of those leading rebel groups about this legislation. Let's have a listen to what Marc thinks. Marc, you had 70 rebels on the cash amendment, 58 on the
Busia entisamosha a bill, Rwanda bill, also limits ability for individuals to make claims against deportation. Naturally say as a form of asylum and as a refugee seeking. And no enayana edini enfe ekane se wudi adro. Ayana yempesa brofo no mobete. Na okopiem wo aman bia ayana saade ne etimi eto. Ai abra wako na ebi wako etimi to wo airport. Omo o reason of entry na When Saka visa na wadu airport no do ho border force no to enso timi ka kire nya de obetumi amawrem nti wo hwe Canada ne other countries na utumi ma won saso na unya lawyer bia ade a ombetumi amawadi adru ewo ho na kyese watumi abi atena ho be 2 years bi na wo de akeka niema asiani abra wo hwehwe wo nsemu eno na ye expect senka UK enso ebeye bi na UK etaye bi na 2023 eno mo de ba se omo de mre bi ba said be ya ebe di 10 crofo ebe hunahuna crofo abra omutumi emerem UK na emrane ne say isi a ye chill e wo airport anase mpo se wutumi be wrem kura na se ye chill na se ye deport na de oma unsa so say e ade obedi adro ne busa sa den wo se bia wokọ Ghana ebeku anase bibisa na chese wusiki refugee ene na say asylum na omodo beko to protect you no enya de ombetumi a protect wo e wo UK ha say e ade ombedi omode besu play mu na omodo beko Rwanda eho ena obekwa kosiki wo Asylum no na ebusuya saade we say ebaye anye nyina de me be video kra efa ho etina ye hwe kra sen common pass but yet see 1st January na okọ home office omo Twitter handle omo de betu mu say ade a bill no omo pass for refugee and asylum na nsem ho na amanfo nso eka say Rwanda no omo anye background check kra hu se krom ho eho ye safe na me free me krom Ghana ba me se me krom Ghana nye safe iti mama me nsa so se me di adro mo protect me a na chese adro no obi man so ena modi me kwakodi enti eno ena mamanfo enso eye allegations kakra bi ena mo se sade a omo fa nko parliament na omo nsa end debate nti eneda ya me no kasei wo hwe data ewo ho a 16th kan say January ena omo ko parliament na results a eba ene say after omo debate ni nyina no speaker of parliament na eka say omo nto so aba na yenhwe say omo beye ensakraye bi se ebi anka emo omo ntena UK ha say no omo ndi adura eno na bato no wo hwe results a ewo screen no so na utimu say omo a omo pagya omo say yes yenye amendment na nka kire say nkomo nka UK ha no enipa 58 per enetimi ma omo nsa so na kire say efakese na 525 omo nyina ema omo nsa so a na kire say omo say enya ade a omo beti ase ama ye changes ken ye chewa e was Rwanda ena obeko obi beka say tips and gist na ade we say de ehun komo etesɛn we menua bebre na nanse na me no bi kasa ono so saa ne haw saa amanfo e wo krom ha sei me de wa bedru ha sei watumi ewre mu a fine wate ase wonya obi sekan ya obetumi de ado na efuto kakra me de betai a ekire ene se yenhwe ye kasa ye mu ye me ba UK ha sei niema mehunu ene se ba bia beko bia adwuma bia bekom anya adwuma boss no o ma na o mu ye adwuma no boss obi se bisawo we student ana we say ana we say ana wan hwe ana wano haw we se me de visit ne baaye the moment a wo be kasa no onim time a wo visit ne bewu kura na otimi calculate ehunu se wo ba adwuma mu ho no a check aburu 6 months nti wo no wo visit na ewu what I say enti woni nya problem e wa adwuma mu pe na chese e was a police be ma obu okura ho ye na hia otimi de ntokwa den efoforo wa na wato nsa abo no na ono so ato ne nsa abo den a police ebebem police be ma ye sefa obi anfa ne ID card mra wo ni bi what I say enti ehun komo na me ne wodi obu o ha me ni obi a wakotwe mpena one ne girlfriend ete ho one ne girlfriend nya issue ya free police ono oni nkrata ono so deport no enkofo bebre eto wo mu no matter what sempena kura na obetwe okrom ase a ema nipa ehunu nkrata mu da apart from say bia mpena no wo ka kire no se oboa wo akoda ne nkrata so na ebia obeka bibi sa kire no but munya ndu sa level no na afi no akose ne pe na ne nam na obi sa so wo de ne ba ya wo de wo pa ka kire se ya wo okrom ha se kwan afa so ba krom ha se de hia no wa bedu krom ha se ono betwempra no ntwempra because ne nipa trim osum oba kora ebetime yi wama eti sa Rwanda bill no me de attach we se na ye de etu ye hofo se ye num kasa enji nipa ni no matter what especially mo a mo de ensrahwe aba ma ba be ye kan se ma betre mu no eye montra mu din wonya obi se kan ya na de dododo wa fichiri kakra na sika ba botom wonya sika na so be yi a no wa ifum sika na da bia no akɔhye because aha say na nya de obetumi asakra won kratam nya de obetumi changes bia with sa ya kan say won sra hwe na o de bae no eti o ma wonya sika bia say Schengen visa bia na wa ifum akɔhye Germany ana say any of the countries any obia any komo abusua de me de ubesi eno no ene menya life no enche kura esan say na me ya de kura mame fa wo enkorem care dependent no omo so issues sa afi no waba TikTok na say ebia bibinti wante de me start here na obetumi aba YouTube na later waba be share video no very very necessary na care dependent no eno so hu sensem etesen eno so hu issues etesen sa 21st na James Cleverly oko ye kan say parliament na okoye ne announcement nipa na me boni din no on na home office secretary ka home officer omo issue visa edema oba krom ase no on secretary na kesa on visas ni nyina and table so negu ono ene call parliament ede 5 rules bi ekoma parliament say omo hwehwem emu baako ena na the Rwanda bill actually say omo betumi de reduce immigration a ena me no udi hu komo say omo pass a empokra omo sa call parliament asa akɔgye atomu biem no na second one omo say de hu komo na ye care dependent ena manfo beka ho asem ebisi omo pass ebisi proposal ebisi match ena best ate eno mo ne ade yate ho asem ana yente ho asem eno me no beka ena afin so oka salary threshold it is a skilled worker visa on say o share skilled workers na omo visas no ye omo mienu ye the actual skilled worker visa no the IT for construction for no money ade ena ye the skilled worker visa / health and care eno nurse for midwife for doctor for carers for no omo nyina omo de no skilled worker visa / health and care nti yana ye skilled no kwafi one aka health and care worker visa it is omo threshold no okay say health and care for no omo no nka threshold no ho but a skilled worker visa your mom be bar for construction works IT eno money other you can say field no mo nyina e was a mutiminya salary threshold of 38,000 pounds say meka sa na mechire mu say ansa na employer bi betimi ama COS ama efficacy info etimi agye atum say ampam de visa ne be ma no e was o mo hwe e calculate ehunu say employer no ba ha say 1 year betimi atua waka 38,000 pounds that is a calculation na one je kura no 25 pounds per hour and I say be a 20 pounds be echo abra be more hours there was employer no etimi atua ma wansa na okeka ma e betimi adu sa 38,000 pounds no let's just say sifrim because employers in the Bible a 15 pounds 16 17 thereabout eno mutua to say one empire ubenya employer be betimi atua 20 pounds 25 pounds there let's just say keka hours per week and a month no and na ye de call annual year na nya de betumi do 38 na let's say untimi fa sa skilled worker visa construction no emma me who employers bebre e amount for TikTokers for ne other content creators videos about sponsorships near that those sponsorships no now last year it will show almost salaries now and do 38,000 pounds. It may find so job bank and say job bank, sorry. Oko indeed any the other UK visa can say job search portals, Now who say construction work be sponsorship so now share annual salary now in do 38,000 men koje and yes a be refuse visa bisa nkrofo be bramode kan neba obi ultimately the COS visa application na yasaka say COS no salary employer no correct it doesn't meet the minimum salary obi a wire visa or better the mechanism it wona okoye job search na ye can say okoye employer no say construction COS so but okoye salary no 25,000 and 27,000 na do 38,000 a chance over the ma okra nya dia immigration for no e better say the visa na ma it eno nso na third rule e buyer eno nso ahya and I can say family union and a family visas different from the care dependent. Family union no HSA. British for and I say or more indefinite make a British and ye bruni koko before nyina eka ho it be before my better ha anya omon krata passport British passport no ye come nyina so me British. It is a British or more krum ha say na omo pesa omo ko ware o Ghana e bia ono chat e TikTok Facebook na oho ye no fe also pesa be ware wa. E was a send nipa no Ashasi no mo shemra say was say nipa no oye adwuma at least onya 38,000 pounds threshold ni bi anase ne annual salary etmi eyesa anase bia o say sika no e da ne bank account tum eno e na omo sa ekọ twasi e ba say abrofo no edoma no go mo so pan tomate so about 29,000 pounds I think say eno de reasonable kakra eti na chese eno e koma omo ma betra krom ha British citizens omo person mo kofie ko ware Ghana for no it was at least wadwuma we UK ha say no wo annual salary no it may do 29,000 pounds and sana watumi akoware obi edene abakrom ha say and the last one amudi ho nkomo na graduate visa you can graduate visa a school for a school UK omo wi aya na ban no mo visa so be masters any degree e wa ha say omo ma 2 years se fa tena ha say na fa ebobra ai utumi de adwuma e de twitwa ho enyeska akra ai na eno postgraduate visa UK ha say ena omo mo be PhD no omo yamo mo 3 years na eno na ban ka say obey review kakra ewo mu esanse amanfo abuse graduate visa no menim abuse kra okan the minimum say nipa na koni school awie wanya ne visa no but also obey review no emaye nti ye twen wo mu abusua eno nso ebetwa mu a yete say omo say minimum wage no omo increase na around 10 pounds 45 or so and almost tuma kwa 11 pounds 50 something yes figures need minya but kwa 11 pounds as and coins right so better UK has here idea o minimum wage let us say job mpo na obey cleaning mpo na obey eno ne ade employer entry aka 1 hour kora no idea e was otua aka bro 11 pounds aha na chese wunya dwuma papa dia na chese okay kako 20 years right 1 hour bia esika obetumi eden aje abusia afei so okase tax ana say ye can say tax NI no ne ade no what you say o hwe wo pay slip na your tax na nkasa wo ene wo de NI ni nyina a form of tax about to na pension and so na tax na nkasa no ene so be reduce by 2% eno so watimi o say ebe sha ase January into eno so ebe koso abusia mame mfa wo nkɔ care no macheche we no mu nyina care dependent no still minim say no ne hia unti a waba TikTok a wutie na care dependent no abusia o say ebe start spring even though say watchre our visa portal mako gov.uk and na masa ko the NHS employers portal makani nyina bom trying to get vivid evidence for you guys because me person me dey enema bia enye yi bia ba betudwa right me call gov.uk no me hu say 5th January aban no abeye edit wabe editing ne nsem ni bi wabe changes kakra ewom or posti ade no 21st December na 5th January omabaye edit ewo gov.uk bebe apply visa no information ni bi meka chiro na mako NHS employers website omonso ay changes ewo omonso website ho omonso changes ni different changes bia eno so ye beka ho asem Na ebusuya spring no ebi mo se eye April ebi mo so eye March. Say ogogol spring in the UK 2024 because of weather changes near that nti ayana time I starting esesa 2024 yi spring ebe started 20th March eye Wednesday eda ukuyada ena spring na ebe started na ye de akowie Thursday eye 20th June nti March April May June right sa 20th March to 20th June eno na UK for ebedi almost spring iti okase sa mara no ebe sha ase spring de ane ye patch say March mu ena ebe start abra 20th no mu ehɔ no na kyese sa mara no ɛyɛ ade a ɔmo bɛpaase a ebe start yɛnte ho asɛm sɛ parliament abɔwa nemum ɛyɛ ade a ɛtwentwɛn so because Rwanda de no mapaase ɛnom ne ade update kora UK for abɛyɛ wɔ gov.uk no ɛkyerɛ sɛ nya ade bi kora ɔmo bɛsesa ɔmo adwen because ɔmo mfa bibia kora nkɔɛ sɛ ɔmo kɔ gye ho akyini anasɛ yi kyerɛ sɛ UK for no ɔmo nyinaa gye tum sɛ dependent na ade a ɛwɔ sɛ ɔmo twɛm for the care na moma yɛnkɔ gov.uk visa portal no na menkyerɛ mo adeɛ ɛwɔ hɔ ma memfa mo ndwane ɛnkɔ gov.uk abusua gov.uk aha na yɛ apply visa no sɛ mahu sɛ biribia ɛwɔ hɔ right aha enti wɔse on sɛ update no ɛyɛ 5th January 2024 ɛna ɔde saa update no ɛbaeɛ ɔde ka posti no 21st December sɛ de mede kan ɛkaeɛ na woba ha se ya ɔse stopping overseas care workers from bringing dependent and requiring social care firm in England who wish to sponsor care worker visa to be providing services regulated by the Care Quality Commission. Eti eye brofo mienu ena ode ato de di kan se obestope overseas care workers na chese care for mbefri Ghana alata memu ebeba UK no ade obestope wo mu from bringing dependent dependent a eye wo ma ena wukunu eno na eye dependent right under the skilled worker visa. Okay, nti na kyerɛ sɛ ɔbɛstɔpe wɔ mo ɛna afei nso ɔse carefoɔ no mo a mo ansa na ɔbɛnya COS abɛyɛ care no ɛwɔ sɛ saa employer no ɔyɛ regulated by the Care Quality Commission sɛ nansɛ mu nyinaa mo bɛdi adanse a obi ka kyerɛ sɛ empo ɔwɔ care visa ne bi ɛde ma wo COS ne bi de ma wo na ɔka kyerɛ sɛ tua sika ne ma ne mpo koraa na sɛ yɛyɛ na ɔnya COS ne ma obisa sɛ die ntia ɛnka ne tete no na nya ade a ɛyɛ ka ne sɛ employers no ɔmo scrutinize ɔmo saa because now more license into a case of a Ghana and one say I'm more abefa now or the you can say obefa if Ghana ba and one say abefa now or the waba be keno. But as time goes on, a man for a bar now was switchy. A man for bar now was switchy. Where your son a bruni na journey a bus say mama a queer mansa 5 years visa. 1 year juma and employer na catch them me COS na mano employer no so their mano or the aba obe UK 3 months pepe no asa bebo me punu mu home office fo masanya employer fofo me switch na ma switch ama no e wo ha na ye ka ne se emi nanso aba home office fo me so manya employer fofo me switch saa de na koso 2023 pa ma adwen aba so se na chese de na ekoso nti ehɔ na omo invite private care homes ne se omo fa omo pay slip emra an wode obi aba UK na wo se watua ne card ya because adentina almost switch na chese wo tete na na say ade bi aniema boni bi koso ntina omo nyina e free mo private care homes no eden echo different places eti mo nyina mo fa pay slip emra eti eno na employers ne bebre entimi afa omo pay slip anko na chese enkrofo mo de omo ba UK no enya ade omo ma omo adwuma eye krampo na omo atimi eden etwe omo ka eno nti na bi mo be stranded ewo dan mu ne ade no eti eno na UK aban no wahunu eto ise wate commission bi afre no Care Quality Commission na wo ho dada but wa hye omo kete se sisi no omo regulate wo mo eti ayade a se wa nkoye NHS ya aban ne de ne bi se wo apply care job no wo NHS hospitals ne bi na wo se wo private home dia wo kotua sika ne mpo a one share 3 months kura na wo COS ne emai na da so te Ghana na wo ye mo hyehyew esanse sika no enya asam kete obi wo UK na watua sika na ma no na 2 months on nka 3 months on nka ayam hyehye wan hwe kura wodi abete kura nya de a ebe mew nti abusua eya asem e wo so hwe sa point number 2 no wo hwe ni ye se yesa akofo ma o kan bibi e wo ho se the skilled worker threshold no first no na 26,200 pounds or two mo call 38,700 eno na medi ka kan ni nti e ho minti so biem but skilled worker visa na kan hunu say eno no it is only for the other skilled workers no just a carpenter for e ka the construction for IT for ni ade no e ya ade a care for no enka ho All right. It was a point number 3 now. See those coming on the health and social care visa route and no any care job for no and then nurses for near unity health no into the health and as social care no carers ne the kind of say support workers no money are the money social care workers. All right. Into mono some of visa route no or see you'll be exempted from that 38,700 salary threshold. Let's just say one here a lot of salary. You call NHS for na NHS for be breaking it down. Ama who salary threshold was a wunya nti sɛ wokɔgye COS bi na ɔhwɛ so na enduru saa mesrɛ wo na waka kyerɛ employer ne sɛ ɔnyɛ edit na nyɛ sɛ wode visa no kɔtum a ɛyɛ ade ɔmbɛ refuse ɛhɔ no so ɛyɛ no wahyɛ ne nso mewie a mede wokɔ NHS na wobɛte ase yie. All right. Now owie ɛna wɔsa yɛ reform of shortage occupation list na kyerɛ sɛ yɛka shortage occupation list a adwuma a ɛbɛtumi ama wo COS ɛde aba kurom ha se ɛnyɛ adwuma bia ne timi ba nanse meyɛ TikTok live a na obi aba tips meyɛ painter menya COS aba UK meyɛ baba menya COS baba no ebi wɔ ha painter no amanfo painter yɛ dan ho ma yɛ ahen but ɛnya de ɛyɛ shortage nti wontimi nya ho COS eti wonya te COS ɛwɔ adwuma bi so ana kyerɛ sɛ adwuma no shortage ɛwɔ hɔ ɛno ne friend shortage occupation list ɔmo ɛne tumi ma wo sponsorship etimi ɛma wo switch na ɛno na wɔ sɛ wɔyɛ changes ida sɛ obeyi bi afiri mu sɛ obeyi ɔde bi bɛka ho ɛno deɛ yɛnim ɛno ano sɛ wɔse ɛyɛ changes a ɔbɛba aba abɛyɛ ɛwom ɛna afei nso ɔse raise the minimum income for family visas meka kyerɛ wɔ sɛ UK foɔ ma bɛtena hɔ moyɛ British no ne ade ade no aha ansa na obetumi ɛde obi aba tie nie dependent no ɛyɛ different from family visas obi ba under the dependent route a ɛwɔ mu sɛ ɛyɛ n'abusuani right ne yere ne ne ma but time a ɔyɛ skilled worker no yɛka ne dependent route but nipa no main applicant and as nipa ne betra krom ha no drew indefinite saa time no tumi invite family member kora ne maame kora timi ba otumi invite ne papa ne brother bi ne uncle and your friend family route etimi ne mobi a ne wofa betena wakofa ne wofa ase aba ne nyina omo pass through the family route saa nipa no konye citizen a anka ontumi fa ne wofa ase ma obi obetumi de na ba ye ne yere ene ne ma dependent but who could do British level and indefinite na utumi kora etra ekofa wo family member ba and when your friend family visa it monhye no so papa na saa family route no odi kan eka say anka wo se wo so wo nipa kora pese kofa wo family member ifri Ghana ba no e wo se wutumi so enya adwuma a wadwuma no 1 year obetumi atua oka 38,700 eno na meka say nansi o matwa si aba bete so e de aba 29,000 pounds a ɛkyerɛ sɛ bebree na betumi akofa ɔmo ofa ase enom ne nkrofo a aka enso atumi abepiem UK abusua yɛte kɔfɔ mo nti wɔn sɛ wayɛ changes ne ɛwɔ hɔ right aha ɔde aba 29,000 aha all right enti afei wasase there will be no longer there will be no longer be a separate child element to the minimum income requirement na kyerɛ sɛ nkwala ho asɛm ɛna ɛno nso ɔka ɛna last one ɔde ba ɔse Osabe MAC, right? We will also ask the MAC to review the graduate route. Medical catch was a graduate visa. Yadema UK for our way school no. Ade almost say omo ba be review. Na ye back carers no asem na wasa a be chapter bi wa ha say. Let's just a careful no wani esim na ni simo so papa. Was care workers mu code 6145. 6145. Eti na health and care worker visa no. Munyina mokoye visa na health and care but adwuma na wode ba no obi ba nurse a ne job code ni different from obi obeye care eti hyene nso eti wa we care worker o job code o hwe COS ne so na o job code 6145 and senior care workers mo job code 6146 na chese mo 46 right nti ni nyina ye care already in this route na chese mo de mo wo krom hadada you will be able to remain with your dependent. Opa kyerɛ sɛ saa mmara ne ba ɛnya ade a mo yɛbɛka sɛ momfa mo dependent ɛnkɔ Ghana daabi. Once mo kurom hadada ne deɛ ɛyɛ ade a mo ne mo kunu ɛne mo ma mo betumi atena ha. Empo if you want to extend your visa kora na yɛbɛma kwan ama wo extend a akata wo kunu ne wo ma nyinaa so. Ɛna mpo kora sɛ wo pɛ sɛ wo exchange employer ɛno ne ka ne switch na ɛyɛ ade ɛno so ɔbɛte ase ama watumi aswitch ama wo kunu ne wo ma nyinaa sa abɛba o new switch ne so. Let's say more you are very secured. And after so I say where a care worker or senior care worker is in this route before the immigration route changes. It is changes ever started spring. That is March 20th. It is before if you are there but has not yet brought their dependent. It is all the care abe rem mo amaba December mo amaba January. So wabe rem na we dependent ni nyamaye, wo manya maye. Mo amaba da ukunu nkwa na ba ya wo sinka wo be ye adwuma be 5 years 2 years bi na che say wetumi akofa wo maba. Me serew from January ya ekosi March no kofa wo ma ne bra. Anya sa wo say they will not sorry. Oh, okay. Or say no, but has not brought their dependent. They will be allowed to bring dependent during their sponsorship on this visa. All right. Internet as a modi move to me the modi naba. Point number 3 no eho was it not ebishe ho it eho confuse me. Timo am was have visa ne so no am buy before changes in there. I'm from dependent mine. You can go and bring your dependent. Intimamo yamo shishimo. Sorry for that. So you can go and bring your dependent. Point number 3, and also the same thing motion ye. Or say individuals who are in the UK on any other route, including those where the route permit dependent who switch to the care worker visa after this date will not be able to stay or bring their dependent. It was a point 3 and 2 na confuse you. You're breaking it down now be antiase. It may find say any other route to say we student and if you we school. Now we school no na emrana badada say Ghana form ekununum no mo yirema ansa na okonya COS into care. What has an say what change from other route into the care after the data more implementing it there. Then you will not be able to bring your dependent and you will not be able to stay with your dependent. It infan say okase stay na ebia we student no we dependent by that time because time I remember you can now to me dependent by it is student be dependent by and now we school when timian switching term na se samra ne ba na wo switch koke na enya de obetimi stay with dependent no it ya ade a wo obetimi atena kroma de ba dependent no etimi meda wo so eje so no ko Ghana. Point number 3 no ehu pa what's your channel so iti na ma ye money tentem and afei so mo ada other route no abo person mo switch into the care no and visa no before switching in term never would dependent ebra because we krum ha anya sa why name mo mu dada mo switch say one switch dia and yes emrane bakra na point number 2 ne say ade obetumi kofa with dependent aba because wo mu dada and I won't switch what so that care ni abusua point 2 and 3 no me sure say by this time ade a obia ate ehɔ na se papa. All right. So you cut down now the last point or say care providers who were sponsoring workers in exclusively non-regulated activities. What I say? Non-regulated activities. Not just say and you may be cause why and ya dear regulate. Therefore, not registered, not required to register with the CQC before this rule changes should be able to continue sponsor with their workers, including their extension, but not hire new ones. It's your care for care, you can say care homes, private care homes in Ibo. Na omo nhyɛ CQC na se yɛka CQC a Care Quality Commission ɔmo no na ɛyɛ ade a there were no regulation under them ɛno nti na ɔmo tumi de nkurɔfoɔ bɛɛ 50 ebegu ha se ɔmo ama ɔmo adwuma aban na ntumi anya ɔmo hwɛ nkurɔfoɔ no asu no yɛse fine ɔmo a wɔde ɔmo aba ne deɛ kɔ so ara na ma ɔmo adwuma yɛ na mmom do not hire new ones mɛnkɔfa nkurɔfoɔ foforɔ ɛmma. That is the last point a ɛyɛ aban no aka ato care ne so nti mesrɛ mo munhwɛ ne yie nti nanse amanfoɔ bebree a request for COS from private care homes ɛdi 3 months koraa no ɔmo nsa nka yɛ menyɛ sure sɛ aban no pɛ sɛ ɔtwe ɔmo mu a ne mmara ne ba na kyerɛ sɛ wacancel ɔmo deɛ no because they were not under the CQC nti matete sɛ nanse care homes ne bebree ɛde ɔmo ti ɛkɔhyɛ CQC n'ase a ɛkyerɛ sɛ ɔmo betumi ɛde nkurɔfoɔ aba na mmom CQC na ɔde wo ti kɔhyɛ ase a ɔmo mmara no ɛnyɛ asɛm ketewa you will be regulated wode nipa ne ba yɛbɛhwɛ sɛ wama nipa ne adwuma ayɛ wotua ne ka week biara wobɛsubmit nipa ne pay slip mmara yɛde hyɛ wɔn no ɛnyɛ asɛm ketewa nti akɔyɛ 50-50 nipa no wɔhunu sɛ ɔde ne ti kɔhyɛ ase anaasɛ wɔgya because ɔde ne ti kɔhyɛ ase a ɔno ankasa onim n'akoma mu sɛ adwuma ni hɔ nti ɔkɔfa wo ba no wantumi ama adwuma yɛ ade a ɔno yɛbɛgye ne license afiri ne nsam nti yɛsi anato ɔmo adwendwene afutu a mede bɛma wo ɛwɔ care saa mmara wei sɛ ɛkyerɛ wo sɛ mesrɛ go through the NHS ɛno nti na tips and tips nanse mɛtumi ho asi hɔ a ɛyɛ ade a mɛkyerɛ mo NHS ne papa sɛdeɛ ɛbɛyɛ anka at least obiara bɛtumi ahunu NHS CV ne yɛ na obiara nso bɛtumi atwerɛ supporting documents na obiara yɛ application menim sɛ ɛɛden ɛno nti na mopɛ fast route no because NHS no mpo wɔfrɛ wo interview kora wayɛ interview na wie tumi de 2 months ɛwɔ mu a na wasa say fa wo passport brɛ no ɛwɔ mu a ebi wɔ koraa na wanya adwuma na wie no ɛbɛtumi atake wo bɛ 6 months to 1 year ansa na wabɛpiem UK but ebi pɛ no hyew ebi pɛ no fast ɔpɛ sɛ nka February wobɛwura mu ne ade ɔmo no na ɛfa kɔti kwan kɔtuatua sika wɔho mmara aban no de aba mankɔkan wɔ baabia o ɛnyɛ Zion Felix website no aka sɛ Zion Felix UK visa portal the gov.uk aban no website ɛna saa mmara wɔ nyina abegu ɛte sɛ wode bɛdi agorɔ a ɛto gye wa yɛ wɔ kurom akora yɛyam hyehyeɛ na wa wote adwo so yo yɛka ne sɛ NHS website no mame enti ho kakra nsa na mede makɔ ɔmo portal no so ɔmo nso a response a mode ama UK aban about the changes because ɔmo nso they think about the carers nti ɔmo nso ɔmo de ɔmo response aba NHS website no ɛte sɛ Ghana Health Service ɛno yɛka no National Health Service ɛwɔ ha sei ɛti wode toto ho a ɛte sɛ Ghana Health Service ɛti mu a mokɔ care home no ɛte sɛ deɛ mo yɛ adwuma wɔ private sectors private hospitals ɛna mo yɛ adwuma wɔ NHS no ɛte sɛ deɛ mo yɛ adwuma wɔ government sector right aban hospitals na NHS trust ne yɛka trust na akɔyɛ te sɛ district health service are more regulate a lot of hospitals. When I am trust no. To more a bigger hospital say. Wokɔ mo website na vacancies bebree egum. Esa na nsen si UKC a stop care for no nti ama NHS for no so the advert bebree aba because omo ho no omo hia carers no ne ade. What I say, right? This is an advantage. Aha say no na hanso yeye. Yɛsɛ baabi sɛ no na baabi nso ɛyɛ te sɛ no NHS no so chances no ɛbɛyɛ higher now wowɔ UK a wowɔ 70% chance to enter the NHS wowɔ Ghana wowɔ 30% chance data makers ane sɛ obi wɔ UK ha dada na wowɔ Ghana wɔne ne kɔpere adwuma yɛbɛfa no gyaw ɛno deɛ nokorɛ wɔ hɔ a wate ase nokorɛ wɔ hɔ nti wokɔ ne atwerɛ certificate of sponsorship no a na kyerɛ sɛ wo a wɔ Ghana no yɛ ne bebree ɛkyɛn obi a wɔ UK minim obi a naano maayɛ video bi mentumi embo YouTube ha say me de beba TikTok Nigeria ni bi a watwa na yaba or 106 applications and wanya 3 interviews emu ba kwa fa na NHS or Nigeria watumi nya NHS aba woyɛ ba ko pa na wakoda minim sɛ ne yɛ ya ebetima take 1 hour 2 hours ansa na wayɛ ba ko pɛ but ada wan kwa adwuma wobetumi ayɛ bɛyɛ 5 wobetumi ayɛ bɛyɛ 5 na ada wobɛkɔ adwuma te sɛ de bia me mekɔba ɛnɛ meyɛ 1 hour life yi na kyerɛ sɛ nka wo si ho na wayɛ 1 tete de bia woyɛ 1 koraa month wobɛyɛ 30 2 months watwam 60 3 months wokɔ bɛyɛ 100 na afei wayi wani wopem 100 ana wayi wani ahwɛ sɛ ebi bɛfa wa kakra bi bɛfa wo because wo no wonni UK pressure bia ni wo so sika na wonni wɔ Ghana ayɛ hye but pressure ni wo so te sɛ obi a wɔ UK ɛno ana me ne nice girl bi kasa ɔsɛ tips ma ba bɛhyɛ ha sɛ 3 months menyɛ adwuma nyɛɛyɛ 3 good months onye adwuma nyɛɛyɛ mesi mewura what did na buy we there organ or some midwife me say ka on ko trialet open CVT materials I be wo ho we are mention on ko try e kan say oski ne empe baby man ko midwife didn't know about UK as a midwife a work school e wo certificate no wa be kroma say uni adwuma ye afi na be ka kire tips and just 3 good months what do I say enya asem ketwa etimesere mu omo UK and pressure si omo so chen because nipa no nya adwuma no otua bills but wa wote Ghana no ente sesa ente wo no ewom kra na ewom se Ghana ye din de but wo no nya abotre na apply nya abotre na ye application anya sa na empo tim kotua 17,000 na wo ba krom ha se ya wo bedru a ye kan say wo sa beba sa wo switch because wo beba na adwuma ni so it was a switch into that time NHS kro ya me kire wi wo sa beba me ho se wo pese usua na maka kire se link no e wo YouTube kosua jadi ntina wo waste 17,000 pounds na wo bedru ha ansa na wako apply NHS ani ntina wo apply ho na wo nya bia wo 17,000 pounds no abo ene nka sa 17,000 pounds no fa mu 14,000 pounds ebe program bi was Sunderland University come school fees 14,000 pounds because a free match ba won't me for dependent emma schools won't me for dependent emma nyina ye pe it is obeka kutua 17,000 pounds I won't for dependent emma na ene kan oba university class kan fa so I dey we abenya postgraduate bi ada so we are why what she has here ana wonfa nkɔ Canada mpo enti mesrɛ wo ɛnyɛ ade a woba bɛnya adwuma ayɛ wɔ saa ɔmo deɛ no so private care homes no ɛnyɛ ade nipa wɔ hɔ ebi wɔ abɛkɔ na mmerɛ wabɛɛfɔ bi na ɛda hɔ ɔno nso de nipa bɛyɛ 50 abɛgum wade ase ɔno nso de nipa bɛyɛ 50 nti nipa 50 no mobɛyɛ da hwɛ mmerɛ wafɔ nti ɛnyɛ ade a wobɛnya adwuma that is the gospel truth sɛ nipa yɛ American wɔsɛ wayɛ induction yɛka induction a kyɛ sɛ wɔbayɛ koraa wayɛ training kakra ɔmayɛ ne training ne adade ɛnso sɛ bɛyɛ a yɛbɛfrɛ no sɛ nnɛ ɔnkɔwura ward hɔ ɔnkɔwura care home hɔ nkɔyɛ adwuma no 3 months ni yɛmfrɛ no wayɛ induction ne biribia o ɛkyɛ sɛ asɛ ɔmo daada na ɛwɔ mu a ne afrɛ wo wagye ne uniform nyinaa ne adade o ɛwɔ mu a yɛsɛ bɛgye uniform adwuma no wobɛyɛ aberewa bia na hɔ nti wan na wɔkɔhwɛ no nokorɛ na ɔmpɛ sɛ ɔmmɛka akyerɛ no aberewa bia ni hɔ a ɔda care home hɔ wode aseɛ nokorɛ ni hɔ ɛna ɔmo pɛ sɛ ɔmmɛka akyerɛ wo the thing is nka wowɔ care home nipa 4 aberewa bɛyɛ 4 ne da hɔ no na nka at least wode nipa 2 pɛ afiri Ghana aba wode nipa 2 pɛ firi Ghana aba na nka ɔmo abɛhwɛ mmerewa no ama wo ɛnso aboro ne bɛyie nti wobɛsesɛ nipa 20 aba na 2 pɛ nyɛ adwuma na 18 abɛsu nti mesrɛ mo nyinaa mokɔ NHS ne yɛ den nkakra afi target sɛ tips and gist mepɛ sɛ meyɛ 100 applications now ɛnra yɛyɛ CV ne ade yɛntumi anyɛ job search mesɛkye adwuma bɛyɛ mmiɛnsa pɛ metu me ho sɛ one day yɛbɛsɛkye adwuma bɛyɛ 30 na mahunu job search ne yie yɛbɛfa no county by county meka county akɔ te sɛ district ti yɛbɛfa no sɛ bi a London yɛbɛfa no sɛ bi a yɛka no sɛ Nottingham yɛbɛfa no sɛ all the other counties no right time and where no money ade no yɛfa no kakra na wahunu NHS trust a dodo a ɛwɔ different counties ɛne ɔmo different hospitals na ɔmo vacancy ti sɛ ɔfa London a na wa apply bɛyɛ 20 wɔ hɔ na wakɔ baabi te sɛ Newcastle na wa apply bɛyɛ ɛyi wɔ hɔ wakɔ baabi te sɛ Manchester no money ade right na wato apete wa wo UK ne deɛ de bia meka kyerɛ sɛ o priority ɛyɛ baabi a wɔ nti sɛ wɔ Bristol a ɛwɔ sɛ wodi kan focus wɔ Bristol na wo apply wɔ hɔ wie a ansa na wode w'ani akyerɛ baabi because wo na wode w'ani kɔkyerɛ baabi no ɛdan koraa wonni bi na wahan wɔ hɔ nti yɛfa wa wate ase ebi koraa nso aha na wobaeɛ no wanya wo sister bi nkyɛn na wohyɛ wanya wadamfo bi nkyɛn wate aseɛ ɛti di kan hwɛ sɛ ka wobɛtumi anya bi wɔ baabi a wowɔ yi but woanya bi deɛ ne na wode w'ani yɛ dɛm akyerɛ akyire wode w'ani akyerɛ no ho a adeɛ baako nso a wɔsɛ mote aseɛ ne sɛ first na Wales nyinaa etimi ɛde nkrɔfoɔ ba under the but CQC no te sɛ wɔsɛ England pɛ sɛ mo kan brɔfo no a wɔsɛ England ɛkyɛ sɛ ɔmo yi Wales foɔ no ato nkyɛn nya adeɛ wobɛtumi de kɛ ɛwuram ɛwɔ hɔ sɛ yɛka UK na ɛyɛ 4 countries England, Scotland, Wales ɛna Northern Ireland iti first na yɛ England ne Wales pa na ɔmo tafa carers na bi mutumi kɔ Wales but sisi a no wohwɛ ɛyi na ɔde baeɛ na sɛ yɛ nurse bi midwife bi de afan ɛde Scotland nyinaa ɛyɛ adeɛ wobɛtumi akɔpie mu but ɛyɛ care ɛkɔyɛ care ne deɛ a ɛnyɛ adeɛ ɔsɛ wobɛma private care homes a ɛwɔ de ada apart from England sɛ de bɛyɛ CQC foɔ no ɛbɛtumi aregulate wɔ mo eti ɛyɛ adeɛ a ɛno nso monhyɛ no nso papa may I sure say by this time they mate the difference between NHS and a private care home DNT any kwase okotua £17,000 because we be stranded ɛnyɛ adeɛ wobɛnya adwuma ayɛ. All right. Now, mama yɛnkɔ NHS for no website. Abra UK for no can say gov.uk. Ɛde ne baayɛ no report ne baayɛ no ɔmo nso NHS for nso ɔmo nso reactions a ɔmo nso ɛde maayɛ. All right. Eti wohwɛ ha se a ɛyɛ NHS employers. Wopɛ sɛ who they are wobɛkɔ about them no you're going to see say they are a group of people I can say employers or more UK under the NHS hospitals bigger you can say metro and as HR4 no right omo nyina nkabom ko omo website eti any yi bibia omo meeting and as bibia ha na omo publish it. All right eti sa post we 5th December na oposti sa ade we say I see changes to the UK immigration policy let's say obe react to ade UK aban no ka afa home na odika posti ye ansa na oye editing 5th no because UK for ye no editing omo changes in the 5th na ono so oye changes no na oka ha say na omo first one oka ye no no see these changes do not affect the NHS nti a lot of people in the UK na omo anticipate say hey any care for omo ba NHS no ade omo betumi di dependent aba because what say these changes do not affect the NHS. What I say because I say the changes being made to the health and care visa route will only affect the care sector. When the changes take effect, care workers and senior carers will be unable to bring dependent when they migrate to the UK. And only the CQC registered providers in England, once the one Wales and can say England, will be able to sponsor somebody on the health and care kind of say visa applicant. All right, these changes do not affect the NHS. And on another focus, these changes do not affect the NHS idea. Na NHS obi the care bad ya NHS NHS idea obetumi de dependent aba o. Itimi kora na me bom paye say bia na negotiation bia omo ne aban ne ye. But nanu ya mesa akọ hɔ a ɔmasa yɛ changes ɔmasa yɛ editing ɛsa de aba sisi ya de NHS na NHS yɛ ade a na ɛyɛ ade a ɔmo ne aban no negotiate de den a aban no ante aseɛ eti wohwɛ saa post ya ɔsa de ba yɛ a ɛyɛ ade a wayi saa ade no yɛ den ɛfirim to kan a wayi saa changes ne nyinaa ɛfirim right wayi saa these changes do not affect the NHS no ɛyɛ ade a wakle ne nyinaa ɛfiri hɔ na ɔba ha se a ɔbɛka akyerɛw ɛhɔ I think say the same thing to say deɛ yɛka ne sɛ aban no ɛka yɛ na mekyerɛkyerɛ mu no ɛno ara na wayɛ apart from salary threshold no it was say salary threshold no sɛ wokɔgye COS sɛ wobɛyɛ care a ɛwɔ sɛ ɛyɛ 20,960 20,960 na kyerɛ sɛ meyɛsure sɛ bebree naa koraa na wokɔ ayi na no yɛkɔ NHS adwuma ɛwɔ hɔ nyinaa £22,000 £21,000 £24,000 ɛtiri na kyerɛ sɛ wobɛtumi anya COS Ediaba because the cut a point no and as a threshold no 20,960 under the care and health and care worker visa. All right. It yenshe and be a benefit be a okay. I say below is a description of how the changes will impact the various international staff across NHS and social care. The first one, health and care visa, applies to those on health and care visa, such as nurses, doctors, allied health professionals. A list of applicable roles can be found on the gov.uk. Into a also a radiology for, nutritionist for, or more hospitals under the health and care worker visa. All right. Now, and on I will say the health and care worker visa is a subtype of the skilled worker visa. During application process, candidates will be asked if they are applying for health and care worker visa and need to select yes. Let's just say idea NHS name COS. Now we have visa application now. Okay, we started with a skilled worker visa, but udu baby no bisa say is your visa actually a skilled worker visa or health and care? Now I select yes, it is a health and care. Let's just say oba be juma ewe NHS. Now I say what select sa benefit will be number one. Your salary threshold no, it does not apply. Let's just say we no here 20,000 per COS and so. And yes, I want select yes there. It was a salary threshold. It do 38,900 pounds. Said medical is it 700 pounds, 38,700 pounds. And no a mom by construction IT. But the moment I say yes, a care job and answer me a nurse, me a midwife, and I may buy NHS no. Let's just say what could I do COS no? Say 20,000 per crown cheswa. A idea on mobile tum amount visa no. They will continue be exempted from the IHS and no a kind of say health surcharge, right? Insurance, no. It a idea you be exempted. Right? If free 2020 care for midwife nurses, or more the health and care worker visa, a idea health insurance or muntria. They be a meka amount for tips you try NI me patch NI national insurance, make health insurance, and I know you can health surcharge, right? The IHS is it immigration health surcharge, right? IHS, immigration health surcharge. And no now the bagana because a health insurance. Money dependence in entry. It is also a bar under the NHS. They are still na health insurance no. Enya they are ubetria. They can bring dependent to the UK as part of the visa, but TNA and careful the whole of the health and care worker visa into your radiology for nurse for midwife for right, the dependent ABBA, right? In another sector or not to work. So their dependents will have a generic work right to work, meaning they can be even employed by the NHS or even in other sectors to work, right? Or even decide not to work, right? It will no bar. We depend on our neighbor. NHS for crabit means was half an ejuma. And as other sectors, we depend a bit mako and as or bit me crack as a mate nefi, asha me ebiana or bano crow. Akwada right into Bemanit Mitnefi, a shakwada no bana kwedman. I don't really understand how you guys are going to do. So they are dependents who are not working, and I am ra and chichero. But we main applicant now one year juma and because you are supposed to pay tax to the government because you were given a visa and a sponsorship. All right. Now, only CQC registered in England will be able, I think, say, no, ya kaka, hey, here, omopa, omusa de abahase. All right. Enti, eno ye those under the health and care worker visa. Enti, nurses, midwives, radiologists, biomedical scientists for nutritionists for allied health, make an allied health, right? Munina, sa wo be juma wo NHS nkwadia, enema makekan, eyema. No binso be say, okay, me so me de care eba be ye wo NHS, men so nti mo nso mo hyɛ ha se right mo nso mo hyɛ ha nti ɛhɔ mɛka mo deɛ no deɛ mɛka no careful no asɛm manka mo deɛ nti careful bɛba NHS mo nso mo deɛ ɛwɔ hɔ point number yɛnkɔ hɔ. All right, so social care workers mo code no ɛyɛ 6145 and senior care workers a mo ba bɛyɛ adwuma wɔ NHS you will not be or say will no longer be able to bring dependent to the UK as part of their visa. Nti NHS for no nso etimi arɛyɛ ate sɛ ampa aban na kan enti yɛn so yɛde aba yɛ portal so a yɛkyerɛkyerɛ mu sɛ woba NHS nkwa na woyɛ senior care anaasɛ care a ɛyɛ adeɛ a wontumi mfa dependent ɛmma nti sɛsi a woba a na wahyɛ wo ho den. All right, care workers and senior care workers already in the route will be able to remain with their dependent, including extend. I think say the abani di kan na ye ken no eno na almost actually chichichichimu ewo ho, right? So you will also not pay the health surcharge. Your salary threshold should be right into nyina na ewo wo hoi. As I say ye say koyechi. Ye say koyechi. Eti abusua ade a NHS for no omaroyate to it. Omaroyate. Dependent no so aka ho asem was dependent no can be employed by any trust. Into we dependent about no so bitime right NHS mo, right? A kind of ho. And a dependent on a skilled worker visa can be employed by any other person, right? Our salary threshold, should be £29,000 from spring, right? Care workers, all right, will not be able to bring the dependent. I don't know, also repeat what has it. All right, into question and answers. Amount for be a question. The first question was it, can I bring my family? I say there will be no changes to the policy on dependent for those on the health and care worker visa unless you are recruited under the occupation code 6145 or 6146. That is, you are a carer or a senior carer. But other people, nurse for, midwife for, biomedical scientists for, and even the other skilled workers, munina enyadia, sorry, eyadia will be to me, edu dependent. Aba. Na meka nurse midwife I no just say nurse or Ghana na just we dependent ba oda bi we nurse or Ghana wo ba be care job a care job saa time ye kan say we carer ye kan nurse for modern nurse eba midwife or the midwife eba biomedical scientist or the biomedical scientist eba what I say nutritionist or the nutritionist eba pharmacist or the pharmacist eba doctor or the doctor eba anya doctor or be doctor bi o ye care wa wo be stress enye doctor wo de care eba de ntipa na doctor wo de care beba UK Ghana egufo adopa de doctor fo nya adwane e de care abewrem UK and enye doctor wo de care ba ntime sremo se wo de eyi na eba na wo COS no 6145 and I say 6146 that is carer or senior carer there ene ya ade a enya ade a obetumi edu dependent aba na mum se wo de nurse midwife biomedical scientist all the other people under the health and care worker visa enye carer ene obetumi de dependent aba. And I feel so other field construction IT mo nyina mo betimi de dependent aba. Was it dependent your husband wife or unmarried partner ompna right ukunu or yere ene ompna nti mesra mo monko sesa mo girlfriends ni nyina emra but Ghana yenji empna aware entum nti enya de Ghana ebema kwan has iti monka nche kufado na onje empna aware entum right nti wompna akora utumi koye certificate eto so se menini date but Ghana de marriage certificate pen na yewo me hu say obi de ne girlfriend akokot say yakosan empena say many need date 5 years ana but krom ha omutumi ware on contract say many we date 5 years na waje certificate ato so eno na e friend of unmarried partner na civil partner na bibisa eti omunyina mo qualify under the dependent your husband your wife your civil partner or unmarried partner na say obi a nware no kra wa your partner ompena nka e ade otumi de neighbor Ghana de first two no husband and wife and open on mujitum. All right. Your child under 18 years, let us say Oba, our under 18 years, or also it me a dependent. And your child over 18 years, if they are already in the UK. To say obebi o UK na person obeda o visa ne so a or buru 18 kra obetimi ada so because o UK dada. All right. Iti abusia we ekoma omomode nurse and eba, midwife eba, biomedical scientists, doctors, pharmacists under the NHS munyina mobetumi dependent aba and na yeko other job roles to say construction no IT no money ade a munyina nso ade a mobetumi dependent aba apart from carers. Second question obi nso bisa say my dependent are already in the UK, would they be able to stay? Yes. So the answer NHS for edema ni pakro say yes. So my dependent are already in the UK. So omo wahadia they will be able to stay. Obi nso say my dependent are already in the UK and looking for work. Can they be employed under the NHS or by the NHS? Or is it dependent of those on health and care worker visa have generic right to work? They do not need to meet any skilled or salary threshold, except they are determined by a role, like except maybe example is a nurse who need to be registered by NMC. So they can work. They can even be employed by the NHS, right? To the dependent about only the ultimate baby and then dependent, kono kakra. All right. And now when will these changes take place? It was say we are expecting these changes to take effect spring, right? Spring, and I may catch us a spring 20th March to 20th June, right? 20th March to 20th June. And I spring UK into NHS for say I almost any more as spring, I idea was a mrano it me starting. I was a mrano it me starting. Obiso say I have a job offer and some of these changes will affect my plans. What should I do? Or say if you are being recruited, if you are being recruited role under health and care worker visa, there should be no changes to your current offer unless you are being recruited under the carer and the senior carer. And that changes no ever count. And I was asking if you are being recruited to an NHS role under a general skilled worker, these changes may impact you depending on the role you are taking and as at the time you expect to arrive. And our care workers, senior carers, and skilled worker visas already in this route before the changes they don't need, right? Will not be subject to new requirement. When the government update on how these changes will impact, we will update their guidance. Not just sabino ede emrano eba spring no de update nyina beba. Obviously, can I come to the UK sooner so I am not affected to the changes? Or say yes, right? So if you are being recruited to a job role, except carer or senior carer, there should be no changes. So you can come at any time, right? Until Uber to me, Abba. All right. I am a pre-registered nurse and I have not passed my OSCE on my third attempt. So if you are a pre-registered nurse, you come to the UK, they train you to write the OSCE so that you become a fully registered nurse. Your first attempt, you don't pass the OSCE. Second attempt, you don't pass the OSCE. And that time you are not a nurse, you're a pre-registered nurse. So you work as a healthcare assistant. Let me say that. So would these changes apply to you? I say employers can offer other support role if an applicant is unsuccessful in their NMC registration, such as healthcare assistant. That is, it's a healthcare assistant, and you get the SOC 6441. To these employers, to do this, employers will need to issue a new COS, and the nurse should not leave the country to apply to vary their visa. Nature say what the nurse and aba wabɛyɛ OSCE 3 times na one pass here. And there was a employer no ɛma a different COS wobɛyɛ adwuma as a carer. Na kyerɛ sɛ what the nurse no de anya de obetumi ayɛ. Na kyerɛ sɛ afei de wobɛyɛ carer. Ɛba ne saa de no akɔhwɛ saa mmara na ɔse ɛbɛwe wo no, right? Okay. And the last one ɔse where can care workers and organizations that support care workers find more information on how it affects them? Or say this question and answers is for NHS staff only. We hope to provide link to advise care workers shortly. Internet say advice or their my NHS workers. Eti abusua NHS no idea ahomeka ewom omo update a lot, right? Inti say idea utumi call mo portal no so ekin kan niam dia. Idea utumi hunu dia ekoso ewo UK nyina. Abusua at this point me demo ebesi discussion me demo ebesi ha say na mame enye me brief you can say summary right? Into any life no yeah discuss the Rwanda issues, right? Rwanda bill, yeah, asylum and refugee seekers. Aban no say there will be di adro krum how they be asylum no akodi adro no. Eno na manfo ante ase o de call parliament. E call parliament no antentam. The akosia ne say ewa ade a was still na e de eco parliament. Isan say we should vote na e buy na
amendment. What's your
58 for yes and a no or mom say my answer samrano 500 over 500 525 people as in no mom say samrano let us say idea mujitum say Rwanda na it was a amount for echo a second things why you discuss here now about the care dependent and no crown a debate chart and I feel so about the salary threshold for a more mobile skilled worker visa construction for me advice almost say 38,700 buying FSA or better for about 29,000 but since you're currently at 38,700 and say okay when you see USB now be construction and I say yeah sure say sir you can say salary threshold no obey until gov.uk and one watch at 38,700 NHS for no NA kasa abane hwese obeti so aba because when him said there are other job roles amoye adwuma wo NHS but omo na health and care worker visa no so but omo ye adwuma wo NHS for instance drivers NHS for omo drivers near that we a driver when said that any health and care but omo ye adwuma under the NHS it will call NHS website I rules be to say cook because na menim say cleaners cry NHS for to me more sponsorship eba krom ha say it NHS no more a lot of jobs but just obvious and the best from somebody going coming as a carer nurse midwife or more than no money by NHS but you are under the skilled worker visa or more under the health and care worker visa until now I say NHS for no mama ba more direct carers no and nurse midwife near you know mono you have to go according to the 38,000 but I know better than me sure say NHS for a befa will be so be a driver I will be trying to cut 38,700 pounds this about it is about 20 a year and there's a money na there will be to me application afa ho all right here we discuss family union and a family visas one way UK dada I'm a person kofa modu indefinite modu citizenship mo person kofa mo mame eba mo papa mo nua ba mo ofa asenum under the family route no you see I was say adwuma wo the whole year I was say would be 29,000 pounds 29,000 pounds and after yeah they graduate visa no a year postgraduate or more my school no and so discuss say abane say yeah there are all your changes or they are signing incrophobia mo changes said the be a man for to me abuse all right it yeah change changes no eba me the ho update gina ebe twen Nancy, near maybe SC and so I pese ye. Some beka ya make say be discuss about Canada universities near college back college in the four bill why was a minimum year and a universities and so me obe six cry was a discuss but a brain into what I saw beko juma beba ba be didi obe na de asa and no that into me am I yenye banano mubete Albert a video na or share crying a crime fast nyana visa crying fast bouncing two times and what mako pima usua de or the mistake away nyina atwodwa I was yet me correct nti ya na wakɔhwɛ sa video no me stress next week met me asa nya no ne sa betwetwe nkomo afa the student visa documents ne ade na me so me bopa say me so menya you can say free chance kakra na metumi ene mo akɔ the other university portals no ne yetumi I application NHS and also ENRA yɛhwɛ how to do a CV and supporting documents in the near year that internal man fanka home. But me tell them how you can search the job on track jobs and I'm searching them how you can search it on the NHS website near the web track. Now to me I application. Me to me when see na mahwehwɛ sponsorship ni be 30 mehwehwɛ other counties to say around London, Bristol, Newcastle, metro to apeti the whole of England na ebia menya be 30 but the link ni nyina beba beku e can say YouTube na yakɔ one after the other na obi ahwɛ di na ma screenshot na obi a etumi ay application and also metu da ba kwesi ho na me di sa dwuma no area Canada schools ni nyina ye the visa application na kasa a study permit no for student no ye the better to area na afi ye call into the work adwuma no ye call into the work into no so ye best start LMI match LMI no last year but that time no na me followers crying 100,000 you see you twem 300,000 ewo can say TikTok net say nipa be 200,000 they came to miss that Oka so mko YouTube and also be asem. It is another section for those people. Mention them how to create a job bank account, how to search for the jobs, how to identify the LMI companies, how to pick their emails, how to send your CV and your cover letter to the employers in your mail, and even how to write the mail. Baby, any email send it. Obi sending me email or say hi tips and this is my number. Call me. Obi to me hey 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 no I send me email. Okoye okoye job application. Okoye employer be email or job bank na koye hey. Okoye hey ya one here. Employer ni oja wa wan share Canada kura unra ho biem. Eti yebesua how to send emails, proper professional emails, right? TikTok for S. I want for sending me email. Oh yeah me hey. Eh oh yeah me hey. I'm on for who do. Oh send you be WhatsApp. Say say hey. Say hi hey. Yeah, oh massa. When you're professional, right? So I'm going to teach you how you can really send emails to the employers professionally. What kind be 3 lines be and 4 lines be now one seminar with your go cover letter now with the resume and so I can what other certificates that is say English proof no money idea. Would be the crack who say employer no a idea I was a utumi who chisano who are drawn attention say medeni na aka ho. All right, your job bang mube hunu ni nyina requirement for the job application. Mube hunu ni nyina enti job bang no and so I just say be 1 week, you been kakra, need the Suana for be a huno. We are now for work visa and as a work permit, employer specific, how to apply for a work permit, main canasa, and also ye bishia because yes, your conference, yes, your tour near daddy, and I ye bishia school, to see yes, your LMI in area, what's your home visa and so application. We are a friend so express entry, and open me say, there be comment is a tips. Canada expression entry no that's what I'm saying. Yes, expression entry. Mo de nipa e wa adwuma mu a mutimi nipa sere sa expression entry yes eh. Anajo me ba life ade me ka ma yasro enye expression entry. Express entry. Express entry. Enti abusia eno so you better discuss about that, right? The express entry. And utimi enya bia ade obetumi akopiem as a permanent resident. LMI you go as a temporary foreign work and say if you bit my visa 5 years and 3 years and 8 years so okay farm okay construction and I say but express entry in the oko as permanent let's just say only visa renewal bia you don't have to renew your visa you go as a permanent resident we are a piloting program and also a way of entering Canada and also no it is a express entry no but I know they just all share juma and a juma no so ya chero baby also call your communities mako 11 our Canada a month 1 person beko because of almost temperature you say ho mutimi na negative 30 o Johnson endru for mo and na wiem say ya na ye blog na aka nti amanfo mpesa mo be kosa provinces no and our communities no to those remote communities 11 communities no ya sideline no for the piloting program a ho unya adwuma e wo ho a ade a mutumi ema wuram as a permanent resident let's say ya ni LMI na koyepe but no no LMI you get a job you go as a temporary worker piloting, you get a job, you go as a permanent. That is the difference. And now express entry need there. You don't look for job. A bina nema will invite. So that is the difference between the three. Tini na ibe kavana baby au kondo no. Ode oho. And you can say ode o chances akwashisha ho. LMIA English requirement. O wasi obeji because colleges need wasi. English proficiency letter obeji but o I letter. It is highly recommended. Express entry piloting program. Exclusive IELTS. So UK via IELTS. Ebi ana wakoche de koye ke job bi ana bibisa. Canada for UK via IELTS. UK for NG standard IELTS, but Canada for the was here where they buy UK crowd beji. It exclusive IELTS into which IELTS. Enya the express entry metre crowd or combedo. But ebi awo any swadi hunu say a idea IELTS no obetre dia. Any na I was a utumi ekotre I can say utumi biti express entry nibi. Na okotre we are ode ho akoto pool ni mu na nyame ye wadoma ban na invite piloting program and also omoje islet ewo ho abusia ye wie ni nyina ye beka kopiem ewo America United States of America so that time no American lottery no abebo mu dia and ye bedi kan ya for American lottery no na ya hear how to check our results how to retrieve our missing confirmation numbers how to fill the DS260 form. I know many other things. But it no that's it America before May there. Then a idea you can say you best start with the B1, B2 visa or tourism visa, no visit visa, no money, you can say business visa, right? So the B1 is their business visa for conferences, and a B2 no for tourism, no money idea. Okaboma, yeah, the B1, B2 visa. I was and we apply for conference, now we apply for tour, now kaboom, now I B1, B2 visa. I know the basa, I don't be to me multiple entry be brave. Abusia and also you how to apply. Area can a America schools and Casadia. Me direct mo nyina akɔ Fred effect. Ɔkyerɛ America schools into mbɛkɔ because ɛhɔ no ɔmo wɔ technicalities bi ɛte sɛ evaluation of credentials. Ɔmo sɛ UK ɛne Canada schools no bi wɔ hɔ a otumi ma akɔgye wɔ transcript every school mu na wasɛnde ama but America no ebi wɔ hɔ a gye sɛ wokɔpɛ some agencies bi na ɔmo evaluate wo certificate no ɛnɛm ne ade eti ɛhɔ no mɛma ma kosua ɛwɔ Fred effect hɔ but yɛ kan sɛ visa no I-20 ɛna the DS160 abɛfili bibi ade akɔgye wo can say study student visa ne there. Other tips and just I'll handle that on my channel. Area I feel so there's send them kind of DS260 form for the American lottery no area na ya discuss here no so H1B visa, H2B visa, and also you better discuss it, right? And a J visa be my was a teacher for be more the exchange program no echo but this amount for be omo ye ho advertising so nya de omutimi kire your friend J visa a exchange program on say it's part of the student visa. Student visa you mumiensa you the F1, the F visa a year for academic course into be America acquire academic a F into applicant main applicant student no a F1 the dependent in the non a F2, right? All the dependents in the manumina at the F2 and a M no a will be a vocational course, technical and vocational course on a M visa. It may no a M1 and a dependence no a M2 and a J no a exchange programs. It infers and calculus school tech near a 3 months exchange program a America bra you go as a student but or category no the J visa and on and say teacher for be enya akwenya omudi penetrate into the United States of America. TikTok for the ebasa mope musika INT. Omba be kind of prekesen so nya de omutumi akira mo visa no kra but tips and just metumi ho asiwo akira obi aye nti okwa ha na ebo na obo no wentimi entry a na chese wabesua na wankasa waye na wetumi akopiem US. So when nyina package tips and just I have for you. Our online discussion is free of charge. Utimi ewo YouTube, utimi ewo TikTok opa no to gift egumi so utimi more dia na do gift asho bottom tips and just metumi ho se wose me kire nyina for free. You stream ewo YouTube said be beka ho ama dachi obi bebisa me anya afi na me se be ye ho video me say ko YouTube o come live session na ni nyina ewo ho. Me wie we say ya me wie what's an email it me chepa because of adwuma pressure and many other and then me point adwuma I was quickly because Asylum no and they are no more parliament into me hu na quickly I was a lot of research a day I dependent into one so I don't have time into maybe I was sending me email and ra enya de meeting akọ maybe a Sunday and I make me email mu the email no send me a check into issue be a Mr. o touch me on TikTok na me pick amanfo a emfa ferry enka ho o ferry dia ene kopɛ lawyer bi because nkrofo bi okura ubuki £100 ansa na o makasa ene ekoho ene o private yi because me mawie no metu me ho asi ho awie no ama be kasa 2 hours na me koda no minya time ensa nko email nim nti wo toche me e wo TikTok na say me the YouTube nso ayi bi aba app boot me install na waba na utumi kasa ne adade enra ye ada metumi amakwan no me the link ne beba na ye o YouTube kra utumi bebisa question oba se wo ferry a fra ho ntoma ebi a tips me sister bi o na okọ US ahan we fra ho ntoma obi anim ebi kra ye wa se ene Ghana de tu kwan a ye mpese obi a ebeye right obi a behunu nti utumi fra ho ntoma ebi a tips madam fu bi o na we yese no aka wasem na waje obi anim se wa so wadamfo obi a akoda o baby why say obi a akoda o baby enti say say media tips ma asem we de me nka mepe wa there be time ni ho misro UK ha say wan kwaye adwuma enya ade a obetua bills and ade a me it doesn't pay my bill for me right gift no obi kura to 500 gift kura enru £1 okura enti enya de betumi atua £800 for my room so I have to go and work ti misro adaje eni poso right otochi me ha you just ask your question. Na yet kona email no twitwa so. The other things I mean to me answer wa ha say say a CV obi say menye CV meet me enya wa ha say momo there you can send me an email but e wo mu a minya ho a ada me wo off no right I me wo offer me tire ponchin kwan ne akokon kwan me ye makokon kwan ne ma ponchin kwan nyina hye fridge mu wi a ene na ma respond o na ma catch you say fa with details send me na me transit 2 hours na me fanye wo CV and wo cover letter amount eti but me sremo wa obetumi aye no go and do it my video no ewo YouTube ma kyerem how to do the CV the resume ni nyina ma kyerem cover letter ma kyerem me the website a even application na me de no software na me de no me de ni nyina ama mo e de link na ama mo me sremo obeju sika me metua month bia metua £60 ma kyerem so kwa kutua £17 na de ni bi because you don't need a professional one you just need a basis bia wo de go and pay the £17 na if I wo de kama anya say bia wo send me email a na pressure eda me so a na mentumi ehu a what I say eti ma kyerem ni nyina go and do it na asumdwe emra na obi antumi ntu kwan obi a ntumi ntu kwan meda mo nyina ma se mo ma bye